Hello, today I'm speaking to Colin Kerr of Microsoft, and we're going to be discussing a special event that Microsoft is putting together, a sort of digital wallet hackathon in London, and we're also, of course, going to talk about payments. I wanted to sort of start off talking about payments. We hear in the press and at events that it's a very exciting time for this market. So, how exactly are mobile and social technologies influencing how the industry views payments right now?
So you're absolutely right, Liz. It really is an exciting time. But I think a lot of what we hear about, there's news almost every day. And I think a lot of what we hear about is how do you replace the piece of plastic at the point of sale with a phone in particular. And certainly that drives the NFC discussion. And that's very interesting, but it's only one slice of what's really happening in the mobile payments opportunity. I think when you look at the other side of the equation is that banks in particular are looking at re-establishing or at least perhaps reinventing their brand in payments and making that tighter connection with their customers. But if they wait until the point of sale experience, that's perhaps missing the opportunity to leverage a lot of the social media. So maybe we can think to the past where you'd open a book of yellow pages to decide where you wanted to buy a bicycle from, for example. So you'd open the book, you'd look at the local bicycle shops, you'd maybe call around to see if they had the one you wanted, and then maybe they'd put it by and you could go and pay by check or by cash or whatever it was the next day. So now think about how that might work in the social world, where you might use a search engine like Bing to find the kind of bikes you want to look at. And then maybe you would ask your friends on Facebook what they thought about your idea here. And they all said, yeah, that's a great idea, you should go for that one. And then maybe they're going to say, well, you should go and find a deal first. So you're going to look for a coupon or an offer that you can redeem to get the best price you can. Then you might buy it, and then you might tweet to all your friends, hey, I just bought this great bike and I had a great deal at this retailer. And now it's possible you could do all of that with your telephone. So it's really changed the dynamic. The key to all of that is the digital wallet. And the earlier banks can get engaged in that buying cycle, rather than just at the point of purchase, the more influence they're going to have in their customer relationships going forward, and therefore building a much stronger brand.
Yeah, but a lot of people talk about this idea that we're in the midst of wallet wars. Why hasn't an agnostic wallet solution really come out for the consumer?
Yeah, so I think in those early discussions, there was a lot of it was like a war. There's a lot. Who's going to control that wallet? Is it going to be the telco? Is it going to be the bank? Is it going to be one of the payments processors, or maybe even a merchant? But if you think about a leather wallet that you have in your pocket, the consumer has control of that, and they get to choose what payment methods they put into that wallet. And ultimately, that's what's going to have to happen in the digital world too. So then the impetus becomes, how do you make your payment methods float to the top of that wallet, rather than trying to control entry and access to the wallet? So we're now starting to see a little bit more realization and coalescence around that as an idea, that the value is in how do you float your payments brand to the top, perhaps by offering incentives and offers to help people or to help influence their purchasing decision, rather than trying to lock down and restrict exactly what can happen with the wallet.
So getting on to the hackathon for the uncool amongst us, what exactly is a hackathon?
So literally the blend of two words, hacking and marathon. Now that sounds terrible in terms of a long-term hacking, but it certainly doesn't have those sinister connotations that you might expect. So CodeFest is probably another word for it that we hear. And it's really an opportunity to bring together developers or analysts who have a passion around a particular subject, bring them around, have a lot of brainstorming, a lot of education, perhaps give some guidance, and certainly that's the role Microsoft would have here. And then let them collaborate very intensely to develop wallet-type components in this kind of scenario. So Microsoft's role here is as an enabler of the payments ecosystem. We're not asking them to build a Microsoft wallet per se. What we're saying is that we have major enterprise customers in banking, in retail, in telcos, and then obviously we have consumer channels too. So how can our technology be used through our partners like FreedomPay to develop this wallet ecosystem that will enable that kind of social commerce that we were talking about earlier. And so we're really excited about the chance to have at least 100 people coming and participating in this hackathon next week to really jumpstart some of the change in the industry that we need here.
So what does Microsoft really hope to achieve with this week-long CodeFest hackathon event? Is it more developing a proof of concept, or are we looking to produce workable products at the end of it?
Yeah, so I think that comes back to the role that Microsoft wants to play here. So again, we're a software services and devices company. We're not a payments company. So we're not looking for people to help Microsoft build a payment solution for the industry per se. Our role is we want to be an enabler. And so by bringing this community together and to create this ecosystem of partners and solutions, some of these solutions could be directly in our enterprise customers, merchants or banks. Again, some of them could be offered through partners. So we don't expect necessarily finished products coming out of this week, but perhaps the creation of some proof of concepts, some new business models, and then over the next few months, the integration of those into larger applications or perhaps apps put up into our marketplace and available for those participants in that ecosystem to download and to use them.